Ladies and gentlemen, the following is scheduled for one fall. It is time for That Way Cool Wrestling Show!
Hey everybody, Danny J here for That Way Cool Wrestling Show. Make sure you're hitting the subscribe button down below. Make sure you're sharing the channel as well. We're always on here with a brand new show. Make sure you're hitting everything. I want everybody to join us up here. Season 4 finale is coming up very, very soon. But tonight, we have a very, very special thing. But I want to introduce everybody first. Let's get in with the group here, get everybody on here. And we got my man, Mark Lindsay. We got LeGrand Onslaught Jackson. Charles Gemini Gregory right down there in the bottom. And let me bring him up real quick. He is the 10-time World Tag Team Champion, WWE Hall of Famer, and the master of the slapjack, my man, Stevie Ray. Stevie, welcome to That Way Cool Wrestling Show.
Yeah, what's up, brother?
Great Kool-Aid.
He is great.
Yeah.
He is great. Thank you for coming on the show. I greatly appreciate it. Coming to us from Houston, Texas. Is that correct?
Yeah, Houston, Texas. Everybody knows that. What do you mean? You think I moved or something?
I don't know what you did. See? I moved the last couple years.
Yeah.
Ain't nobody looking at where I'm at, though. But no, welcome to the show.
Where is that? Where are you from?
We are out here near Philadelphia, Pennsylvania.
Near Philadelphia?
Yeah, we're not in
Allentown?
No. We're much south. We're more south than that.
You guys Amish or something?
No, we're more Delco. We're more Delco than anything else.
No, speak for yourself.
Speak for yourself. Stupid.
I'm from Philadelphia. I can't be Amish. I'm too dark for that.
I didn't get a good look at you. The lighting was kind of dark.
I mean, I keep telling him that too, but like, let me bring him up here real quick.
Yeah, you look like everyday John Book to me.
There we go. There's my man LeGrand in the bar, hanging out. Very good. So anyway,
that's my man. That's my man. That's the way you relax.
See that? He's saying.
Dude,
not
when
like,
we found
not
out
like
that
this.
we were doing this interview, I said I got to do it from the bar because I'm going to be talking to one of our heroes growing up. That's me and Charles Gemini Gregory. But there's no other way to do this.
Yeah, true.
All right.
Now I
let my man relax. Now see that he's got it right, brother.
See, now I'm gonna show you. I'm gonna show you something who's not relaxing.
So this is perfect. It's on.
Now this guy right here. I'm gonna tell a little story real quick. We were at Icons of Wrestling. I want to keep him up here for a second. And
okay.
we were right over next to Shane Douglas and Kevin Sullivan. And you and your brother were off to like the corner. It was like you guys, Steiners, Demolition, etc., right down that line there. And I said to Charles, Charles, go up there and see if you can get both Stevie and Booker to come on the show or do a promo, which you guys did a promo for us, that type of thing. And he said, oh, okay. Now, we had shirts and everything done up for our show and stuff like that. So he covers up his shirt and he gets in line. And this son of a bitch buys an autograph and a photo op instead of asking anything.
No, I didn't. They gave it to me.
Right.
Because actually, Stevie Ray, you talked to me 15 minutes on the side about dieting. You gave me all this information about keeping in shape. Like I said, I worked for 18 years, and I was complimenting you because I was like, man, you're still in good shape. And you were like, I eat right, I do this, I do that, I do that. And we talked for we had to talk about 15, 20 minutes. And
I remember that, bro.
Do you remember?
And I was like, this is great.
Yeah, I remember that.
You talked to me, and I was just like, wow.
Yeah, I remember that. It was kind of in the latter stages of the show, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
I remember that.
So now I go up to him and I say, listen, did you talk to them? Did you get the interview? And he was like, well, no, I talked to him and I got my pictures and I saw him taking pictures. He looked like the chestnut cat. He was smiling so hard.
I know about that Way Cool Wrestling Show. I told my apology.
The only reason we were there was for this show, and he forgot about it. So I said, get out of my way for a second. I said, I went up there, and you had walked away, and it left Booker by himself. And I said, Book, I said, I don't need anything right now. I said, but can I get you for an interview in about 5 minutes? He said, yeah, okay, good. He was really gracious. I said, okay. I turned around. I said, that's what you had to do, brother. None of that bullshit you did.
Well, we started talking. Me and Steve, we started talking about wrestling. I asked you some questions because, like me and LeGrand, we did the Indies, and it was very hard for black wrestlers.
I remember that.
Yeah. And you were just like, you know, and I said we always felt like we had to work harder, and you were like, you do, and I was like, see, and I mean, I was calling LeGrand. I mean, we always had it like for us in wrestling, wherever we went, we always had it like, you know, we had to go 120 miles an hour.
Yeah, bro.
You know?
Yeah, because you know you got guys like, you know, the Amish sitting back there, and you got guys like your host here. Those are the guys. You know? Those are the guys, man. But you just kick that door in, brother. You don't worry about them. You just kick that door in and show them, you know, what you can do. Show them what you're all about.
Yeah.
You know, and at the end of the day, man, that's just the way it is. But that's not a wrestling thing. I probably told you this. It's not a wrestling thing. It's just a life thing, man.
That's a life thing for us.
So now,
I trust me, I know that.
Now you bring up a good point. I mean, you guys did very prominent in Texas and stuff like that. That had to be really just prevalent there, where you guys had to like just work your asses off in that territory.
But this is the thing, though. The thing was we were prepped for it.
Okay.
I talked about that. I've talked about that on different podcasts. I've talked about it on my podcast.
Yeah.
I think I even made reference to it in my Hall of Fame speech.
Mm-hmm.
That you know, but in essence, I gave it to people where they can kind of read between the lines and things of that nature.
Yeah.
But you know, it's no different, man, in any walk of life. And if you prep for it, hey, it's not something out of the ordinary. I'm already ready. So we were trained. God trained us, Scott Casey. He set us down and told us exactly what we were going to want to run into if we ever got to the next level of professional wrestling, because he saw something in us. When we were going into the Cauliflower Hall of Fame thing last year, he was our presenter. And if we had a presenter this year at the WWE Hall of Fame, he would have been our presenter.
Right.
I have utmost, me and my brother have the for Scott Casey.
Yeah.
After what he prepped us for.
Now, was he involved with your training and everything too, or he just got you down there?
Yeah.
You trainer
too? Lead trainer, and he's the one that really taught us psychology of professional wrestling. And the psychology is what we always try to implement in matches, in tag team matches. That's the way we were, and that's the way we wanted to even present ourselves. Even though we were a tag team, people would always look at the African American tag team as a certain way. But me and my brother, you know, constructively sit down and said, okay, no, we're going to go this way. You know, just creatively. We were more want to be like a cross between what everybody has seen in the past and the Midnight Express, all in one.
Yeah. Was there any particular team?
Kobe Bryant and Shaquille O'Neal at the same time.
Right.
Well, for us, like when we started, we always said, like we did it when my first part, we did 14 years before he got hurt. But we were like, we wanted to be like Harlem Heat, no lie, you know, because we were like, you guys did your thing, but every time we went somewhere, they wanted us to, you know, sing and dance, and I refused to do that. I refused.
Yeah. Just like the Amish.
Yeah, we went to a show. We went, boom, you know.
Yeah, I see him back there with the
I am from Philadelphia. I love it.
Yeah. I can tell you one of those. He's one of those guys that run a show and he's going to come up and say, hey, "Excuse me, guys." And then if any of you guys sing and dance a little bit, is that what he did?
Thank you.
Is that what he did? He looked just like one of those guys.
He was security at the show.
Well, I mean, I've seen Charles dance, and Charles dancing was definitely never going to be in the picture. I've seen the man dance before. So the shit wasn't going to happen. You know what I mean? But I
don't care, but he still looks like, I don't care. You know, I know what my man is talking about. I know what he's talking about. That's the first thing we said we would not do. First of all, no shucking and jiving, no skinning and grinning, no hit but somebody when you hit my head. Oh, my head is so hard, I get energized from it. It was not going to be.
That was some that was that John Jones shit.
Exactly. Yeah. Who said? Yeah. And it was none of that. Me and my brother looked at each other and said, "No, brother. When we got that question, we looked at each other and go, no, man, I don't dance."
No, but that's it. I mean, we used to say if that's what you're looking for, you don't need us. And
good.
I mean,
tell him right there.
Absolutely.
Go tell him.
I mean, we had a really good.
There he is right now. Tell him he's on camera right now. Let him know.
There he is.
Let him know right now. There he is.
Lay it to me, Charles. Lay it to me.
Yeah, that's a security guard. We don't pay him no mind.
I can. He reminds me of that guy. That guy. I've met him in many places. That guy.
Now,
reminds me of that guy. And he knows it. He knows I'm telling the truth about it.
I am a guy. I'm not that guy.
That guy.
You look like that guy. That guy.
Now this guy here, I'll tell you though, this guy here, he had a security job, and he had to do one gimmick where he had to get knocked out by somebody, and he got knocked out. And to stay in gimmick, he stayed knocked out for over 10 minutes while other matches were still going on. Nobody bothered to pick him up and move him out of the way.
And the guy who picked me out, and the guy who knocked me out is in the bottom corner of the screen. Charles. I sold for you, Charles.
Hey, listen. He sold very well. He sold it.
He did.
Well, good.
He sold it.
He should. You always sold.
And then this guy here, right? I'm going to put him up right now. I was wrestling. He goes up to my two daughters, who at that time must have been about 4 and 5, something like that. And he came over, his Uncle Charles, and they said, "Oh, Uncle Charles," and they gave him hugs. And he said, "All right, I got to be back. I got to go beat up your daddy." And then he left. And then proceeds to beat the shit out of me in a match. So I said, "Motherfucker, you act like I owe you something." I said, Jesus Christ. But we had a lot of fun. And one thing that I learned from him was just bring your gear with you, no matter where you're at. Just always have your gear with you. And that's what I did. I always had my gear with me. And I showed up. I was out for about 6 months with an injury. I came and saw a show. And he said, "I know you got your gear with you." I said, "Yeah, I do." He goes, "Well, get it on because I need you in the battle royal in about 5 minutes." I said, "Okay." I ran in, did my battle royal, got slapped around. Everybody, gave me the ribs because I haven't been back in a while. And I get thrown over and I'm about ready to skin the cat. And I said, "Well, you know what? I got to go DJ in about a half an hour. So I'm just going to let it go." So I just let it go. I went to my job, beat the shit up. Oh, it was crazy. It was horrible. But we love it. And we love this business. That's why we do this show.
And that's how you learn, man. You learn by doing things like that. You learn by, being in so many different scenarios and situations that, you just absorb it all in, because in the wrestling business, you never know what's happening. You never know what's coming next. You never know. Just have your bag, and you never know when you're going to get the call, bro.
Well, I used to have the young guys come to my show, and they would get there early trying to get on the show. And I tried to find out a little bit about them. I said, "Okay, well, go help set up the ring." And if they had an attitude with that, LeGrand will tell you. I say, "Go home." Because I used to have to set up the ring, work, break it down. We worked for Larry Sharp. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. "Oh, you're too good to set up the ring. How long you been working?" "Oh, I've been working 6 months." I'd be like, "Man, if you don't get out of here." I was 5 years in when I got there. If I got there early, I still helped set up. It was just the thing to do.
That's the thing now that I see a lot of, that nobody really has the real respect for this business anymore, especially a bunch of the younger guys. And that's a lost art. It's a lost art form now in a lot of ways because of the respect level. And it's not just professional wrestling. I think it's just a generational thing now, that to be disrespectful and don't have the credence for what you say you love because you're in it for the wrong reasons. I'm gonna be honest with you, man. When I got into professional wrestling, I never thought about where my career was going. I just love professional wrestling, and I got a chance to try it. Yeah. I never thought it would take me anywhere, because at the time, me and Ahmed Johnson, you guys know him.
Yeah.
Me and Ahmed Johnson had started our own security company, and we were doing well, man. But we just wanted to, try professional, as a hobby, because hell, I when I was a kid, karate, boxing, just always something you want to do. not as a career, but just try it as a kid. And bodybuilding. Then professional wrestling came up. I go, okay. Ivan Putski worked out at the same gym that I worked out at. He was like, hey, man, I'm opening up a wrestling school, man. You guys ought to come by. And I'm like, okay. It was that kind of thing, you know what I'm saying? And everything else is where we already know the story about after that. But that's what it was about. It wasn't about anything, had anything to do with wrestling as far as putting a ring up, as far as driving somebody to a town, anything. If somebody doing the show, to hang around, anything to just be a part of a professional wrestling show. All the other stuff just kind of fell into place. And that was just, and what I'm saying is the love of the business. Not the love of what the business could do for me, but just the love of the business. If I never made it, I still would have been satisfied. I tell everybody that.
Right.
Because I got a chance to be a professional wrestler.
We were trained by Larry Sharp, and Larry Sharp used to sit there and say, if you don't love it, don't even come to my gym.
Don't even do it.
Don't even come.
Don't even do it.
He would tell you, because we were playing football. Some guy walks up to us because we were joking around at the end. Guy walks up to her and goes, you guys can move. You guys would try professional wrestling, gives us a card. I'm like, whatever, 2 weeks go by, we finally actually looked at the card, and the school was up the road. We drove up there, walked in. He remembered us. Everything else was 18 years later. I did it for 18 years after that. Because that one person, and we got there, it was the most exciting thing. We were training 4 days a week, going to work, leaving work, going back to the gym.
Right.
It was just something that we wanted to do.
Exactly. I remember the days, man. Those were some of the most fun days of our life, because me and my brother, we were I come from a very athletic and competitive family.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So that's just a part of life, So when we got started wrestling and things of that nature and being in a wrestling environment, we wanted to push the next guy just for the hell of it, because we got a kick out of it, because that's how we did each other,
Right.
So it was like, okay, you guys too serious about this. Let's do this, let's make this fun, man. Let's see how many drop downs you can do. I bet you I can beat you doing more drop downs. You know what I'm saying? Stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
And Scott Casey saw that, and he would always go. We would work on the psychology of a match as to how to make a match look good. Scott Casey will always preach, if the guy you're working with doesn't look good, you don't look good.
There you go.
Right.
Absolutely.
If you ever noticed back when we would do squash matches in WCW, we would always let one of the guys look good.
Look good.
You have to.
We would all, and people would ask us, why do y'all do that? Because it doesn't really look good when we just squash guys and never let them have nothing. Not to us. We want to show that we got the whole psychology thing down. We're not doing this for our peers. We're doing this for the people that's in charge.
Yeah. That's right.
Because our peers, you might not, just because you're a great wrestler, that still don't mean you know the psychology of everything. Mm-hmm. We're doing this for a reason. And people would always go, hey, man, I appreciate what you did for me. You see what I'm saying? I'm trying to give back. One of these guys might be a hell of an athlete. I want the powers that be to see him.
Okay, see him work. Get his shine on.
Who in WCW really helped you guys out when you first came in?
When we first came in, Sid is the one that helped us get in. That's for one.
Yeah.
But Paul Orndorff really helped us a whole lot.
Really?
Who was that? Hogan is the one that really kind of helped us get to that next level. Right. But it was a lot of people that was in our corner, because back when we first came in, it was a click thing.
Yeah,
it was a click thing. We knew, most of those people wanted us to fail. Ole Anderson really was stand up for.
Okay.
Everybody was kind of like pushing, but it was just certain people in that hierarchy that didn't want us to succeed,
Okay.
but we just kept having, every time we put us at another level, the guys was like, I want to work, going back saying, hey, I want to work with those guys again. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So little by little, they couldn't hold it back anymore because it started getting bigger because of the fans.
Yeah.
Fans was like, okay, these are guys we love to hate.
Right.
And we made people look good when we got in the ring. If we're putting you over, I'm going to make you look real good when I put you over.
Was there any team that said, like, hey, you know what, guys, I love what you're doing, and I'm going to job for you every single time if it helps? Was there any, like, that one team to say, hey, we're the ones that we're going to gel together?
No. I didn't. No, because in essence, me and my brother, we didn't need no help and no shit like that. Don't worry about it.
Right.
I got this.
Right.
You know, just show up and do what you do.
Right.
I don't need I don't need no help or no favors.
Right.
If you know what I'm saying. Just do what you do. We'll do the rest.
See.
Yep. Now the same question though, was there anybody that you guys preferred to work versus anybody else?
I could care less who we work with. That was our attitude. That was our attitude. I swear to God, I never took professional wrestling home with me, so I really didn't give two shits who we got to ring with.
Right.
Because we're gonna get in the ring, we're gonna go out of our way, as well as you guys do, to have a good match. That's all professional wrestling is about. That's all it's about. It's obviously that some guys work better. You gel with some guys better than others. But if you don't challenge yourself, if you see what I'm saying, to get that comfort level with somebody you don't gel with, then what are you doing?
Right.
See, we used to have a problem. We used to have a big problem when I call spot monkeys. All they want to do is spots. And I'm like, dude, I'm 330 pounds. You're not just going to, it doesn't work. You're going to have to work a body part. And they didn't know how to do it. There was times where some of these guys, I would have to kind of coach them through the match. And afterwards, they'd be like, oh, now we understand. I'm like, dude, that's part of wrestling. Who trained
But that's the thing, bro. That's the thing. They haven't been trained correctly.
I wouldn't get mad at them. I would try to help to a point.
Right.
But if you didn't want to listen to me, you're not going to listen to me. You know?
Right. And that's what I talk about when I talk about the psychology of a match. You don't listen to a spot. You don't listen to a spot. You listen to the people.
Right.
There you go. See?
Right.
See?
You listen to the people.
How many times did we tell that story to the young guys?
Dude, I can't even count how many times that we would sit there and like, okay, here's the deal. Well, we want to do this spot and we want to do that spot. No, that's not wrestling. It doesn't make sense.
Don't make sense.
If it doesn't make dollars, it don't make sense. Calm down, kid.
But that's the thing. Knowing the whole psychology of what professional wrestling is entertainment.
Yes.
You can't get into yourself and what you are doing. It's what the fans perceive.
Yeah.
And if you just a spot monkey, you will never know the true essence of painting a picture.
You're right.
Oh, okay. I like that analogy.
Yeah.
Beautiful analogy.
That's a beautiful analogy. Damn. I like
you
that.
will never know.
The Amish guy said you had a beautiful analogy. Just wanted to let you know.
Great analogy.
Yeah, that crook.
I'm sorry.
You said you're from Philly, right?
Question.
Yes.
I am Philly, yes.
Dan will say I'm asking all the questions. But when your brother ended up going to WWE, I always he was fantastic. Don't get me wrong. I love your brother. You know, he did a lot. He did a lot for.
Hey, brother, you don't have to go through the superlatives. Just get through the question.
Oh, I understand
that.
Like,
I love him. Go ahead.
Weren't you there? I just both of y'all need to be there.
Well, firstly, I was pretty fed up with professional wrestling at that time.
Okay.
I was transitioning to getting ready to start working behind the scenes. I was about to be an agent. I was doing commentary because a lot of people don't know that's actually what I went to school. That's actually what I went to school for. I wanted to be in radio.
Right.
Then when I got a chance to do it in WCW, and I started writing for the magazine and things of that nature, a lot of people didn't know I've already had, you know, a little tutelage in this. I never really, you know, but you know, when you're young, you know, you love something one day and hate it the next day. So it got boring back then. So I was ready for my next transition. And secondly, you know, I'm a kind of person that actually likes to study what I'm a part of or study what I really like. And just studying WWF at the time, I was not going to be some jungle bunny put out here to amuse people.
There you go.
Right.
I mean, the Stevie Ray character was always a very stern character
No
that
nonsense.
I worked, no nonsense, that I worked on for several years. And, you know, nothing against some of the guys, the African-American guys or the minorities that has gone up there and, you know, made good livings as doing what they're doing. I'm not built for that.
Right.
I'm not built for, like, you know, like with my brother, he come in as the champion, and the next thing you know, The Rock is saying, "Who the hell are you?" I ain't built like that.
Okay.
Right.
Yeah.
Or
even
or I'm running from a bad knee Daisy Duke bald headed pussy that beats up women. I ain't built for that.
Okay.
There you go.
Yeah, I like
You
that.
dig what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I ain't built.
Yeah.
Because even now, I watch the brothers that do the New Day. I don't know if you follow, but I'm a big E fan because if you actually listen to what he's saying,
oh no, I love those guys.
If you listen to him, he's telling
when he does
all the time.
When he does some of his little interviews on social media.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Lynch's mom was great. It was a great interaction.
He is really for real.
I mean, but the thing is, it's the wrestling business, and you got a job to do. And I'm not talking negative about that. It's just the fact that for all the years that we did Harlem Heat, I never wanted to see it turned into, you know, I don't know. I never want to see it turned into the Three Stooges or the Little
Rascals. A satire of what you began with.
Right. I never want to see that, and I know my heart wouldn't have been in it because, you know, they had came to me and say, you know, they wanted me to come in and blah blah blah, this, that, and the other, and I called my brother and told him because they were talking to me through my brother. I called my brother and told him I can't do it.
Okay.
And he's like, well, what if they put you on a limited schedule? Well, that's how it starts, on a limited schedule, and then it goes to a full schedule. I can't do it anymore. I don't want to wrestle full time anymore. So I went overseas. I would go back and forth overseas for like three years, and then I would just work independence that was in Texas, something I could drive, or Louisiana, something that I could drive to and then drive back home. And I was pretty content with that, you know. So I have no regrets, and I got nothing against WWE. I just felt as though I owe it to my people to leave a legacy, or a memory of something that made them proud. I just had
now at that time, you started your trucking business also?
Well, I had a detail shop on the west side and a trucking business.
Okay.
So it was, you know, like I say, I was always, you know, trying to put myself in a position, whereas I got a problem with authority, and I got a problem with people telling me what to do. Okay. And I just was so tired of people telling me what to do.
Got it.
And being around a lot of people that just didn't feel like it was my world. Artistically, I was just somewhere else.
Okay.
All
right.
Now
I never loved.
Damn, he sounds like we're related.
Now,
no way. What are you talking about?
Now, when
way.
when they brought in Ahmed and they gave Book his single push, they had that lawyer guy. I forget what his name was, but the guy that came in, he was the lawyer, and
Banks. It was Banks.
There you go. Yeah, there you go. Now,
Big.
there you go. That was like one of those things where I was like, what are they doing with this? And I realized the push was happening and that type of thing. But what was your thoughts on that? I mean, obviously you're cool with Ahmed and everything because you know him, but like, was it like, hey, what are we doing with the Harlem Heat brand? Like, what What's the scenario with that?
I'm the one that put that whole thing together.
There you go. Okay, there you go.
Okay.
Oh, that's awesome.
There you
I wrote
go.
the whole thing.
Okay.
That was awesome.
That was to put my brother out. That was to put my brother out there as a singles wrestler because artistically, I was done with Harlem Heat. I just didn't give two shits about being in.
Gotcha.
You know what I'm saying? And I was trying to get my buddy some work, Ahmed Johnson, who needed some work. So I went to the powers that be and asked him, and I ran this whole thing about them, by them, and they liked it, and the rest is, history.
History. Okay.
Now, one day, it was right in the height of the Monday Night Wars and stuff like that, and it was a Sunday morning, and I turned on, I think it was TNT, and there was a kids show, which was geared with NASCAR, and the hosts were yourself and Jimmy Hart. And I said, what the hell am I watching here? I had no idea. I flipped it on. I said, what the hell is this? And what is this pairing that I'm looking at? It made no sense at all. Tell me about that pitch. Who was involved in that?
I don't remember.
You remember the show, right?
You
remember the gig, right?
Yeah, but I vaguely. Vaguely.
Yeah.
The thing was, you remember back then that we had a Bush car. WCW had a Bush car.
Yes.
And we had a cup car. Okay. Yes. And we used to have to go out and do a lot of the cross promotions. So the NASCAR guys would always want me to come out because I knew NASCAR.
Okay.
I grew up on NASCAR. So when I go out and talk with the guys about the history of NASCAR, the drivers, the tracks, this, that, and the other, just like people do with pro wrestling, they were amazed by it. They was like, how do you know all this stuff? And I'm like, I'm a big NASCAR fan. And nobody knew that I was a big NASCAR fan other than the people that I wrestled with, because back in WCW, they would call me the Black Redneck.
Black Amish.
Because exactly. Because I was a NASCAR freak, but I'm not just a NASCAR. I'm not just a NASCAR freak. I'm an auto racing freak.
Right.
So I've been around that and been a big fan of it. I'm more of a fan of auto racing than I am of professional wrestling.
Oh wow!
So when they would go do the cross promotions, and all the NASCAR guys would be like, "Man, you know more than the guys that work on the truck cars and stuff." And I'm like, I'm a fan, man. You know what I'm saying? I'm a fan, and so that's how I ended up in that. But you know what I'm saying, man? I don't know. I guess because I knew NASCAR. I think that's the only reason I was
involved.
Now,
all due respect to Jimmy Hart, who's a legend in this business, the guy behind the scenes does everything, and I understand that.
Right.
Why the hell was Jimmy Hart sitting next to Stevie Ray? It looked like Dr. Evil and Mini-Me, because he was like,
you know what? I don't remember. I mean, I swear to God, I've done a lot of stuff in this business that I don't remember. I probably didn't even want to be. Most of the stuff I did, I didn't even want to be there. I'm just doing what I'm told, man.
Right.
Like Forrest Gump, when the guy says, Forrest Gump, go check that hole out. You just pull your gun out and go check it out. You know what I'm saying?
Now, did you and your brother own the Harlem Heat name?
Huh?
Did you and your brother own the Harlem Heat name? Was that your merchandise? Did you
Well, put it like this. We came up with the name, but I don't think we owned it in any way, shape, or form.
Oh,
okay. But we owned our names, the Stevie Ray and Booker T. So
right.
Right.
Did WCW own it then? At that time?
You know what? I don't know, and I don't care because I'm still getting paid. I'm still getting paid from it.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying?
Now, do you help?
Exactly.
Now, does your brother still have his school, or do you help with that?
Yeah, the school's still open.
Yeah.
Okay.
And your brother still every once in a while wrestles down there, doesn't he? At the school, your brother still wrestles at the school sometimes, doesn't he? For their shows.
I think he did maybe once or twice. That's
yeah.
it.
I mean, I remember recently. I think it was a couple of years ago or something like that. He was doing something.
I think about a year ago, he did something with I forgot the kid's name, but he did something with him. But that was about it. No, he don't get in the ring anymore.
That's crazy. What was it like working with Sherry? Because everybody always asks about Harlem Heat, and you mentioned it obviously in your speech and stuff like that. But she was such a great woman.
Great, man. That's what made Harlem Heat.
You know.
That's what made it. That's what put us over the hump. You know.
Yeah.
Because you know, it gave us that edge. It gave us that edge. Played it to the T. You know what I'm saying? Because what they were trying to do, once we were getting ready to get a push, they wanted to put a manager with us, but we didn't want a manager.
Right. Okay.
Because this was just another way for WCW to put one of their buddies on the payroll. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Let's put this guy with Harlem Heat because he's buddies with somebody that's up in the office. You know what I'm saying? And we knew that. And we didn't want, and we were trying to figure out a way not to tell them that we didn't want a manager. First of all, I'm well versed in the English language. That's first and foremost.
Right.
Secondly, I can talk my street Ebonic like no other.
Yeah.
Okay.
Right.
So what the hell do we need a manager for other than the fact somebody thinks we do?
Yeah.
Okay. With all that being said, and with heels, we went in the studio with a few guys, and I'm like, you got to be kidding me, bro. Ever-loving, psychotic, eclectic mind if you think I'm walking out with this jabroni. You know. And me and my bro just like, no, we ain't doing this stuff.
Because your brother, your brother had the mic skills. You didn't need anybody.
But like I say, that's not what it's about, though.
Yeah.
Right.
You're talking logic.
Yeah.
I'm talking illogic.
Okay.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah, I got you.
This is somebody's personal want or not want because they're trying to get somebody on the payroll. They had a zillion people on the payroll, and 2/3 of them I never saw before. So that was something up.
Okay.
So
ain't that
it's their company, brother. I just work there. Like I always told people, I just work here.
But when they brought in Colonel Tom Parker, right, and made him your manager, didn't that look a little odd?
The Colonel was never our manager. The Colonel was just part of an angle with him and Sherry.
No, that's right, because it was a romantic thing. That's right.
Yeah, that was just something to enhance the deal that we had going with. Who were we working with? Bunkhouse Buck and Dick Slater.
Yes.
Yeah. And he managed Bunkhouse Buck and Dick Slater. That was good theater for the show, but that's really not no here or there.
Yeah.
We got with Sherry was that she had just finished up doing a program with Savage and Hogan, and we seen her. I think we was in Gainesville, doing a TV taping, and we seen her in the building because it was early in the day, and she was like, "I heard y'all was looking for a manager," and we was like, "Nah, we ain't looking for no manager. We trying to figure out how we can tell them that we don't want a manager." This was the one time we were going to try to. We was getting the push, and we know we was getting the push, and we was going to test the waters now. Okay. And just tell them straight up, we don't want to, and see where it went from there.
Right.
And Sherry said, "What if I was you guys' manager like that?" And we was like, "Are you serious?" And she was like, "Yeah." And me and my brother looked at each other like, "Now that would work."
Yeah.
Because she's way more equipped than these dickheads you just took us in the studio with.
Right.
Really make us look fucked up and make us look lame and make us look weak. Yeah. And when Sherry, so we did the gimmick where, we were talking to somebody on the phone, and everybody thought it was going to be one of the, people that you've seen before. And when it was her, it blew the roof off the whole thing, man. So it was all good. And by the mere fact that Sherry was a worker, that's what made it work as a, this wasn't just a pretty face like you see today. You know what I'm saying? You would see Sherry
took some bumps.
But like I say, she's a worker, which made the whole thing work. somebody else, we wouldn't have been able to do some of the stuff that we did. It was almost like she's as tough as they are, if not tougher.
Right.
Remember, a lot of times we would have to hold her back.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
That's what made it work. Like, hey, all three of them, and we start calling her sister, because when a white girl is down with her boys, she down with her boys. You see what I'm saying?
Right.
We would call ourselves three we would call ourselves three the hard way because you had to fight all three of us.
I had a chance to meet her in Allentown on a show. She was
really?
Yeah.
And we were working. And we came out and she goes, "Oh, you've been working for a while like that." And I'm looking, I'm like, I was like, yes, yes, ma'am. Like, whatever. Because I'm like, this is Sherry. I'm laughing. And I said, well, did I do something wrong? She said, no, them guys is working a little too light. And you, like, she didn't say stiffen it up. You made them, because the one dude act like he didn't want to sell. So I kind of made him sell. And I think she seen that. And she was laughing at me for like 10 minutes.
Right.
She was like, she laughed. She was like, yeah, sometimes you got to do that. I said, I wasn't trying to because I didn't want to get fired at the time from this promotion.
Right.
But she was like, yeah, sometimes some guys, I'm 330. This guy's 180 pounds and I'm hitting him. And he's trying to Hulk Hogan me. And I was like, all right, here we go. One of these guys.
Yeah, brother. Now I'm going to break your back. Now I'm going to break your back.
Yeah, now I got to lay it in on you,
Yeah, I'm going to break your back.
Yeah.
He hit me. I fell down. I'm just going to say it. He gave me one shot. I just went right down and stayed out for about 5 minutes. I said, I'll start the show.
But at the end of the day, that's how that whole Sherry thing started. And we just got with her and said, hey, we all dress the same, whatever we wear.
Right.
And, when we talk the mic, we'll finish up on the mic and she'll finish up. And it was all angry. Everything angry. So it worked, man. That's when it took off, man. And the thing was, we got heat from both sides of the spectrum. We would go out on the road and Sherry would get the mic and talk about the people. And my brother would get the mic and, talk about the people. And I would get the mic and I would say, for all you Uncle Toms that's in here, we don't want you either. We got here without you and we'll stay here without you, So we included everybody in the house shows, man. And we got so much heat, and I don't think we ever was no less than semi-main event the whole time we did the Harlem Heat thing.
Okay.
I'll tell you that what you just said there resonates because what you described honestly was horseman mentality. You can like us, you can not like us, it doesn't matter. We're this good, we ain't going anywhere. So just get over it because this is what it is. And that's something I don't think anybody else in wrestling projects because of the fact that it's the horsemen, when you think about it, were never true heels. They were just cocky and really good at what they did. So that's why there was a love-hate between them. There was never people that like totally hated the horsemen because they're like, dude, how could you? They're that good. They just prove it right. They prove themselves right every single time. And you just proved it right there. And again, they're saying, hey, you know what? Harlem Heat, this is it. This is where wrestling's at right now. So get over it. It doesn't matter what you think, All
right. Well, that's what I'm saying. That was the persona we wanted to bring.
Yeah.
Whereas people wanted to try to make us, they wanted us to reciprocate.
Yes.
Okay.
Love. But we couldn't do it.
Right.
We are traditional heels.
Yeah.
I'm not this heel that wants to be loved.
Right.
I want to hate it as much as I can hate it. That's my job.
Well, you're right. You're right.
So when we walk out, what was that?
I had a story about we went to West Virginia one time, and the cops had to escort us out because I took it a little too far. I took it a little too far.
You did your job, bro.
Yeah, well,
you did your job.
We started jabbing with the crowd.
Right.
They told me to do what I do. And I started asking, I said, is that your husband? She's like, yes, that's probably your brother. And they started throwing stuff at us.
Right.
Then I really took it to another level. And we were supposed to go over. but they started getting like, it was wild. Even the refs started getting a little nervous. And I looked at them. I said, "Look, we got swerved this." They looked at me. I'm like, "Look, just go with it, man."
Right.
We got out of there so fast. I thought they was gonna lynch us down in West Virginia.
Hey, brother. Hey,
They asked us to come back. We went back.
That's the essence of the business, man.
Yep.
That's the business that I love. I mean, nowadays they want to make everybody into a star, even the heels. I didn't come from that tradition.
No,
right.
We didn't either.
Right.
I came from a tradition where when me and my brother was in Global, we almost started a riot. That's how much we were over as baby faces.
Right.
So we were baby faces in Global before we became heels in WCW. So we saw both sides of the spectrum.
Okay.
As to the heels that we were working against in Global, and then it goes totally inverted as the baby faces we had to work against in WCW. So when we came out, it's like, man, I'm gonna bury you, bruh. Don't even look at me the wrong way. I don't care if it's Randy Savage, Sting, whoever. You always notice we got right in people's face as soon as we walked out. We didn't care who you
did.
were.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? And we would never tell them we're gonna do that because I don't want I want a real reaction.
Oh, you didn't?
Right.
Never tell them.
There's a match you did. It was, I think the Steiners had just came in, and you had this look on your face. I started laughing because I was like, you walked up to Scott Steiner, you were like right in his face, and he had this blank. He had a blank look, like, okay, what's going on? And I wonder if he just like, dude,
right. Never would tell him.
He had this look like, okay, what's going on? Right?
No, I get in the face and I say, I'm gonna eat your white ass alive. I'm gonna eat your white ass up, punk. And they don't know. It's like, wait a minute, I thought we were cool, bro. You know what I'm saying? But what I'm trying to get is from the people, like, these guys don't play. You see what I'm saying? Now, if I tell you I'm gonna do that, then your reaction, you see what I'm saying? It's a working reaction. Yeah. If I don't, then it's like, but see, the next time you're gonna be ready. You see what I'm saying? Next time you're gonna be ready.
Your brother, my daughter, we were at that Icons of Wrestling. My daughter, they were selling merchandise there, and she bought a Hall of Fame ring. So they'll make replicas of anything, you know what I mean? So she buys a Hall of Fame ring, and she runs up to Booker T, and she said, "Look, I got a Hall of Fame ring too." And he said, "Let me look at that." He goes, "Yeah, I like that. I have one of them." He goes, "Those Steiners down there, they don't have any of these rings." And he was yelling down, and yelling again. And then they didn't look. He said, "Yeah, I said it. Those Steiners don't have any of these rings." But he goes, "I had one of them rings." He was a trip. Let me tell you something. And I got to say to you guys, as a pure compliment to yourself and to your brother, I met you in different times in our lives. WCW times I met you guys, and I met you at Icons. You guys are both class acts because let me tell you something. You come off, and I don't mean come off like it's false. I mean, you come off as humble guys who remember where you came from. You remember why you did this, and you give back. And I want to applaud you for that, you and your brother.
I appreciate that.
I tell you, because when I met your brother, it was the night he won the World Television title.
Mm-hmm.
And he came out to the club, and he was all dressed in the nines, and we came up to him. I said, "What a great match, man. Congratulations." He goes, "Thank you, my brother." He gave me a hug. He said, I said, "Can we take a picture?" "Yeah, let's take a picture." Boom, boom. You the same way. I came over to you. You were fucking jacked like this. You had this sleeveless plaid button-up skirt. And he said, "Come over here." I said, "Gee, I look like a straw next to this guy," right? And he took pictures and stuff like that. And you gotta remember, you were in the corner with like Bam Bam Bigelow and a bunch of other guys were back there. And it was just all these big guys and this little white dude like hanging right there.
And Dan, remember the day I took the picture with you and your brother? Me and my cousin, our true combined weight was at 700 pounds. We were 350 apiece. I always thought I was big. I stood next to you and your brother. I said, "Damn, what happened?"
We have those pictures somewhere too.
Like 5 inches. I'm sitting there like, man, come on, man. I was a bit. What happened? I was like, I should have worn my wrestling boots because I had the 2-inch lip. You know what I mean?
But that's so funny.
I was just like, well.
Look, man, he's billed as 6'5", 295 pounds of muscle and hustle. There's no way. And I'm your boy. I love you. We've been together a lot. There was no way you was gonna look big next to him.
Yo, I sucked in the stomach and everything, man. I was like, damn.
I had a question for Stevie. You had mentioned earlier Global, which is where I first saw you on TV.
Okay.
You know, Global Wrestling was on ESPN every day, Monday through Friday, 4 o'clock in the afternoon. Yeah. And you guys were there. I don't know who the booker was. I think it may have been Eddie Gilbert. But what were some of your earlier memories of Global? That was one of my favorite promotions. You had the 1, 2, 3 Kid. You had Jerry Lynn, Cactus Jack, Terry Gordy, Stan Lane. I mean,
Greg Cox was down there too. He was a big up and rising star back then.
Rod Price, all these guys.
Del Wilkes.
Del Wilkes was the big one. Yeah, he's the big
one. Marcus Bagwell, the handsome stranger.
The handsome stranger. Yeah. Yep.
That's right.
John Layfield. Was Johnny Hawk at the time. Ahmed Johnson. I mean, if you think about all the guys that came through Global, think about all the guys that made it out of there, man. Is that something?
Right.
That's a lot of guys.
And meanwhile, Global didn't do anything. That's the sad part about it, is that it really was this like exciting promotion. You're seeing all these new talent and they're mixing with old talent, and you had a mouth like Jim Cornette in there. So you know it was going to go somewhere, and it went nowhere.
And that was the thing about it. Well, the thing was wrestling was changing at the time. The ESPN contract, I really don't know what happened to it, because it was almost like after we left, we were almost like the last of the Mohicans.
Okay.
Yeah.
Everybody had came and went, because every time somebody got popular, one of the other organizations, scooped them up.
Okay.
Right. So it was almost like a minor league for the major leagues, if you see what I'm saying.
Yeah.
And for some of the guys that used to be on top, still had somewhere to work. Because I'm gonna tell you something, I learned everything from Global because I got to work with so many of the veterans that teach you.
Mm-hmm.
That help you with your psychology, that help you with this, that help you with that. And that's what we don't have anymore.
Guys don't want to teach.
Huh?
Guys act like they don't want to show anybody anything, or they don't want another.
Well, it's hard now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's the blind leading the blind now. You got guys running wrestling schools that's never done nothing in this business before.
Nope.
Yeah.
So
it's almost like they're putting out product instead of putting out wrestlers. You know what I mean? Like when you guys went through, you and your brother, I mean, it was something where, they're training you old school philosophy, as you already said. But now it's a look. These guys have no promo skills at all. They can't speak.
No.
And I said it many times in this show, you'll never have another Piper. You'll never have another Jake the Snake Roberts, an Arn Anderson, a Ric Flair, because these kids are not allowed to be. That's true. And they all could be there, and we don't know it. That's the problem with it.
But that's the thing with professional wrestling now. It's not about wrestling anymore. I heard you guys earlier talking about AEW, and you're talking about WWE.
Yeah.
And the Amish guy, I didn't get a chance to elaborate on anything he had to say, but I'm going to elaborate on it now. Since you brought it up, I'm blaming you. Okay? some of your points was very well taken, but what you have to take in the consideration is that Vince McMahon is not in the wrestling business. He's in the TV business. Yes. So when it comes down to what my man was just talking about promos, this, that, and the other, it's almost like a Henry Ford who invented mass production of the automobile.
Right.
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
If I'm producing mass production of the automobile, I want them all to be the same, and I can control all of them because they're all easy to fix because they all got the same thing on them. You see what I'm saying?
Right.
That's what you see now, a factory of wrestlers, because if I control it all, it's all mine. So when you talk about Roddy Piper, I didn't give him that gimmick. He created that gimmick.
That's right. Mm-hmm.
I can't give a Jake the Snake that gimmick. He created that gimmick because back in those days, you wasn't manufacturing professional wrestlers. People were learning their skills in all the territories, and they brought them to the major leagues because the territories were the major leagues back then. So you had to come up with you might go through 4 or 5 gimmicks before one actually works.
Yeah.
Okay. So nowadays, Vince is just like the cookie cutter factory now. It's just like NASCAR now. If you want to talk about NASCAR, all the NASCAR guys look the same now. They all talk the same. You ever notice that?
It's true.
Yeah.
He's right.
Nobody stands out anymore. Nobody, and you can look at actors in movies. It ain't but a few that's still out there, like the Tom Cruises of the world and the Keanu Reeves of the world and stuff like that. Other than that, all actors look the same.
They look the same.
All singers, all hip hop artists. If he ain't got 50,000 tattoos over him, he's just like the next guy. You ever notice this?
This is
There's
true.
no individuality when you are a professional entertainer anymore that sets you apart from everybody else. All music sounds the same. All actors look the same. All professional wrestlers, it's the same thing now.
Yeah. So, Stevie Ray, what do you think is going to change that? What do you think is going to?
That's just the evolution of professional. It's not the evolution of professional wrestling. It's the evolution of the entertainment business.
Right. Can they go back? Can they go back?
No way.
You don't think?
Because now you have to realize something. We were not at the beck and call of sponsors back in those days.
Yeah, you're right. You're right.
The wrestling companies bought their airtime.
Mm-hmm.
And they sold all the commercials and stuff to make the money. Well, now, since companies like WWE has gone public, now you're just like the NFL. You're just like the NBA. You're just like hockey, like NASCAR. You're all in the same game now. It's not a subculture anymore.
Right.
But you see what I'm saying?
There's
not a subculture.
for you. There's a question.
Go ahead.
I've noticed, even like WWE, when I watch, the main entertainers, to me, the main guys, are the guys that actually were in the independents for a while. The indies, the Styles, the Samoa Joe, guys like that who had to work their way up there. They seem to be more adapt,
just because they're at a certain level on the show, that doesn't change anything as to what a television show is about.
Okay.
Right. They just got more experience because they weren't brought out of the cookie cutter factory.
Okay. That's what I was trying to say. Yeah. All right.
Right. But at the end of the day, they're still in the same game. They are all still in the same game. And it's not the wrestling game. It's the television game. You notice how you take a movie from the 90s and you make a remake of it. And the remake has nothing but young kids in it. And you go, how the fuck some 22-year-old dude gonna be a James Bond? James Bond got that. You got it. What the fuck? You just got here.
Right.
And now all of a sudden, you know all these worldly things to get out of stuff like Indiana Jones. You kidding me? Don't So what I'm saying is, in that era, 15, 20 years ago, all the heroes were 40 and up.
Yeah.
Now all the heroes are 25 and down.
You know, it's funny you say that because when I was a kid watching wrestling, and we're roughly all about the same age here, you know, I'm looking at guys like Bret Hart, the British Bulldogs. I'm looking at Tito Santana, and I'm seeing guys that I guess I could consider my father's age in a sense.
Right.
So I'm looking up to all these guys. I'm looking up to Ric Flair. Like Ric Flair, my father is the greatest person ever lived. And I know any guy will say that about his dad, but I truly believe that. But Ric Flair.
You're supposed to.
Yeah. But Ric Flair taught me how to make confidence exude my talent in a sense. You know what I mean? Like I kind of modeled myself as a DJ to be like Ric Flair, to say, hey, this is where it's at. I hate to tell you. And I was cocky like, and these guys will tell you. But it's like now the age flipped, and I'm at that dad age. I'm seeing kids 21 years old, 19 years old, 22 years old. And I'm like, I can't respect hardly any of them. And it's not for the lack of their effort, but I'm having trouble relating now with the talent because of the fact that like now they're like the age of my kids. You know what I mean? And
I'm like, your kids are who they're directing this toward. That is what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
You remember? Let's take basketball.
Yeah.
You see, all the kids want to come out at a very young age now.
Yep.
Back when I came up, you had to go through hell to get out of college early. It was called hardship.
Yeah.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? So you had to go to school for maybe 5 years. So it wasn't no 19-year-old guys coming into the NBA.
Yeah.
And anyone that did, right? Anyone that did was just an exception to the rule. He was that good.
He was
just that good. So if you look at everything now, it's geared toward the very young individual. And when you guys were talking about AEW and WWE and who was going to the NXT was going to USA, this, that, and the other, their projections is not for what they're looking at right now. Their projections is 5 years from now.
Yeah. Yeah. You're right.
See what I'm saying? Their projections now. So what they've done is got together with, the sponsors, and we can promise you this in this much time. So you can't look at it like your traditional fan. You have to look at it like a business person.
Gotcha.
Because it's not about the individuals.
Yeah.
Right. It's not about the individuals anymore. They come and go. Yeah. It's about the show.
Right. That's crazy.
You remember what P.D. Barnum said? I bring you the greatest show on earth. Not the greatest high or wire act on earth.
Right. You're right.
Greatest show on earth.
P.T.
So
Barnum
now
was full born every minute. So
that's true.
Right. Exactly. But what I'm saying is this. Have you ever noticed when WWE is coming to town, it's not about the individuals, it's about the brand.
Yeah.
Right.
Absolutely.
Oh yeah, because they do come and go like anything. Do you think
what I'm saying? You remember back in our day, it would be Harlem Heat, Ric Flair, Sting, Lex Luger. You know what I'm saying? And when people didn't see them people, they were pissed off. So now it's like WWE coming to town, they'll show you a vignette of different people, but they never say who's coming.
No, they say SmackDown. They're live. Yeah,
there you go.
True.
Yep.
Yeah.
So that's what I'm talking about.
Did your prior education in entertainment, basically, in a sense, because you're talking about being communications and everything and knowing how a show works, do you think that helped you to position yourself, to position you in book, to say, all right, this is a better deal than this one? Let's in WCW, I'm talking, as far as like, we work an angle and all.
Well, the thing was, we knew we was around long enough to know when the okie doke was up.
Yeah.
And we knew how to combat the okie doke.
Mm-hmm.
And once people know that, they stop trying to pull the wool over your eyes.
Yep.
The thing was, we were trying to get respect in the business. I don't give a shit who likes me or who doesn't like me.
Right.
I do want your respect, and I earned that because I'm going to give you mine. At the end of the day, once we got in the position whereas every time and people always ask me, hey man, you 10-time tag team champions. Only reason I was 10-time tag team champions because every time they took the belt off, the belts didn't mean nothing anymore. So they had to put them back on. So I know I'm going.
Yeah, that's right.
Absolutely true.
People did not buy anybody else as tag champion other than maybe the Steiners.
Okay.
Right.
Look, when we were watching, and we loved seeing everything you guys were coming with, because you had the athleticism, you had the attitude, the so forth and so on. So the thing that we were looking for if you didn't have the belts, it had to be the Steiners. If the Steiners didn't have the belts, you had to dig up the Road Warriors. If it wasn't between the three of you as teams having them belts, it really didn't mean anything.
And the fans, you were one of many that thought that way. And I was like, will somebody else please hold these belts? Because I'm tired of being on every show.
Yeah, don't you hate trying to get through the airport?
Oh, man.
Every time we went through the airport, we got stopped.
Oh, my
Taking out the
God.
bag.
Oh, my God.
And then they want to take pictures with you.
Well, I mean, you had Luger and Sting. Not that that mattered much, you know. But like,
you know what? Yeah, but I mean, they were cool for a minute, but then they would get into, Sting was such a intricate part of the show. You couldn't just have tag team stuff because he was like one of the main guys, if not the main guy. You know what I'm saying? That pulled the wagon. So you really couldn't have a tag team. And him and Lex Luger beat us one night, man. And oh man, I was so glad for them guys to beat us, man. Next thing you know, I don't know, a couple of weeks later, I'm like, where does belt come from? Now I got to know, where did this belt come from? It's back on. I'm like, golly, man.
Now I have to admit, one of my next to you guys, when they unmasked Doom, it was Butch Reed and Ron Simmons, right?
Yeah.
I always said, man, I wish they would put them together with Harlem Heat and make that little click, for a little bit. I wanted that in the worst way.
Well, see, the thing is, we were both heels.
Yeah.
It doesn't work.
Yeah.
But
and then me and my brother would have had to be baby faces.
Yeah.
Which with Sherry, that doesn't work.
And not for nothing, if you take Doom and then put him against Harlem Heat, you got like this gigantic, colorful gimmick versus these two guys just in black. You know what I mean? Like it was like the dull versus the charismatic.
No, wait a minute. Let's get it right. What I'm saying, I wanted them to be like the Black Horsemen. How's that? All them brothers.
That would have been fat. That would have been fat.
With size.
Really, and that would have got a push, right? Yeah, whatever.
Hey, they had PM Dawn. They had PM Dawn. I just want to say like that. Or what was that guy? PM News. PM News. They had PM News in the Southern Territory. I loved it. Yeah. Okay. Good. All right, Mark. Yeah, you had a question, Mark.
I would have pushed that. I would have pushed it. Amish Mark would have pushed it.
Yeah, sure you would have. You would have been the first one to put us on the back burner.
I didn't.
You would have been the first one. You would have been the first one to put us on the back burner and go to the powers that be and say, "Hey, this ain't working. Let's get rid of all of them." That's what would have happened.
I respect the hell out of you. You have entertained us for many years, and I thank you so much because I am a huge fan of Harlem Heat. I was a huge fan of the Ebony Experience. And I loved Ron Simmons and Doom. And I can remember August 2nd when Ron Simmons won the world title. I consider myself woke, okay? And I'm telling you, that was huge for wrestling back in the day. And it's huge for wrestling today that happened. So I understand we're all trying to laugh. But, you guys meant so much to the business. And I appreciate it.
Hey, I appreciate it, man.
Let me tell you something.
I'm believing him, but I appreciate it.
When we back in the day, though, watching Jim Crockett Promotions. Now, imagine I was a kid, and you watch television, so you know what you watch, you know what you see. Right. And as a kid, I didn't know what racism was. Okay.
Yes.
But I knew there was a difference between the WWF and the NWA. You know what I mean? Like I see a difference in style and stuff like that. And we were making fun, but seeing PN News come in to somewhere where I got the Freebirds and I got Dick Slater and I got Arn Anderson. And I said to myself, without cursing, I said, where the fuck did this guy come from? I said, I don't understand who this guy is and what he's doing here, because I said, he just ain't going. I don't see this rap thing going anywhere. I don't know where this is coming from. Everybody's listening to Skinner, and this guy's coming in and rapping. I don't understand what this shit is. You know what I mean?
But in that regard, sometimes you have people trying to implement gimmicks, put gimmicks together, so on and so forth. They really don't know anything about the culture of what they're trying to do. They're looking at something on television and just trying to copy what they see. You know nothing about this. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And that's why it doesn't work. Because the person that put it out here the wrong way.
Right.
Because you don't know anything about that culture. You just think you do.
Right.
Or you want a certain majority to look at a certain minority the way they look at things from a television perspective.
Right.
And that is why I was trying to chronicle why my brother and I took on the persona of which we did. We want to be in control of it because you don't know how.
That makes sense.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
If you walk up to me and ask me, can I dance? That is a stereotypical way of thinking when you think about African American people.
Right.
And the traditional African American wrestler.
Right.
Because you don't know anything. You know the African American from wrestling. You do not know the African American as an everyday person.
As a
right.
person.
You're right. You're right.
So when things like PM News and stuff like that goes down, it's a certain decorum that goes with it that you have to bring with it. But if you don't know anything about it, then no, it's not going to work.
Yeah.
Because you get it totally wrong. And I'm just giving you this from a perspective from the entertainment wrestling business, not from a fan. Because I've been through it.
Yeah.
You know what? I'm gonna have to push for this because this weekend I went to the African American Museum for the first time in DC. They got different stars, different this and that. Man, they need to put y'all in there for the wrestlers because for someone like me, you were I had my favorite. I had them Big Daddy, Zeke and all them, but you were the ones that actually made us when we wrestled. I have to admit. I mean, I'm not much younger than you. I ain't gonna tell how old I am, but I'm not much younger than you. But
he's up there.
Right?
I'm really not. But when we came into wrestling, that's what we try to emulate.
I've heard that from so many of the younger guys coming behind us, and that was what we were trying to do.
Yeah.
Leave a residual, leave a lineage to make other young African American guys want to be in this business and represent this business. You know what I'm saying? And I've had so many people tell me what you just told me, which means I did my job.
Yeah.
Right.
Well, coming from my heart, I appreciate it.
I appreciate that too. We made an impression, and the thing was we wasn't about to compromise. But ever since then, it has been something totally different.
Right.
And I've always asked myself, it's been times, man, I'm walking through the airport and people were like, I'm not going to say nothing to that guy. I seen this guy on television, man. Yeah. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
That dude is mean, man. You know what I'm saying? And people start telling me about different people I might know. Somebody that they got a friend that work at the airport or a cousin that work at the airport say, you come through the airport, they say they don't say nothing to you. I'm like, really? Why not? Well, they say you just look so mean, And I'm like, I'm just like everybody else, but they looking at the TV. They looking at the TV. One of my other brothers, man, he had some kind of contract in one of the airports, and he used to have to go over to the big airport all the time. And I remember we were having, I don't know, a holiday dinner or something like that. And he was saying that some of the people that he knew was telling him that. I was like, what? And he said he worked with some girl that when we was doing the show in the Astrodome, the girl said she came up and asked me, that's when I was in the NWO, asked me for my autograph and I spit at her. I was like, what? I did? And I don't remember this, but I do remember when I'm in my gimmick, you know.
Yeah.
You know, when you got to catch early flights, I'm kind of like in the zone. I might have some buds in my ear or something like that. I'm listening to back then we couldn't listen to stuff on your phone, so you had to P3 or something like that. You know what I'm saying? So I'm like in a zone, man. I'm going to work, man. It ain't nothing to be happy about. It's 6 o'clock in the morning. And I just got up at 3:30. You know what I'm saying? And to get your flight, and I'm just not. It ain't nothing for me to be happy about, man. That's just me. But people believe the gimmick, though. If you see what I'm saying, them two like. So one day, my ex and my daughter had to be maybe 1 year old, 1.5, going on 2. And I come off the elevator, and my daughter sees me, and she's like, she's little, like, is that my dad? You know what I'm saying? Getting off the elevator, and I bent down and I said, "Come here, sweetie." You know what I'm saying? And then she ran to me, and I picked her up. And one of the Skycap guys was like, "Oh man, all this time, man, I thought you was the meanest guy in the world, man. You just a teddy bear." And I've been seen that guy 50 times. The guy never spoke to me, man.
That's great.
And I take your bag, blah, 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 and this, that, and the other. And that was it. The guy never spoke to me. I've seen that guy 50 times. And I was like, wow, man, is it like, so in essence, going back to what you brought up, man, that's the difference between yesterday and today, man. Yeah. Everybody knows today, hey, they just playing a role. Well, back then, they didn't know. They was on the fence. It was a gray area.
But
it was a very gray area.
When you walked into the building and we were heels, we had to walk in like heels until we got to the back room. Yeah. I couldn't even ride with a dude up to the building. We had to drop him off down the street because we couldn't be seen with him. And we were working.
Yeah, everything was kayfabe. Everything was kayfabe, man.
Everything was kayfabe.
Everything was kayfabe, man. Serious business. I know veterans. I've seen veterans get knee deep in somebody's ass for not kayfabing.
Wow.
Right. I've seen it. Wow. I've never done it. You know what I'm saying? But I've seen it. For somebody just get ripped up and down for riding with a face or riding with a heel. I've seen it.
Right.
So I'm like, well, I'm riding with my brother, so ain't nobody gonna rip my ass. So
yeah, that's what I did. I was with my cousin. I was with the grand, so we was telling the grand we was cool.
Yeah. After witnessing that, I'm like, holy shit! No way. You convinced me, bro.
Hey Dan. We've been working here for over an hour, so you know.
Yeah, I know. I'm watching the time here, and I'm just getting so involved in this conversation.
Me too.
One thing I want to ask you before we go, because I do want to get you up because you've been so gracious to come on. When the NWO became like the 75% of the company, okay, and Harlem Heat's now done. We got Booker T going on his single run, and he's beyond the Men of Action, whatever. What was that group? The MIAs or whatever. He did the GI Bro gimmick again, and then he got out of it.
Okay.
Yeah, you know what I'm talking about. And then they gave it to Hugh Morris, and I said Bill DeMott took it over. But like, then they go, all right, Stevie, we're gonna make you like the NWA 5000, which is like, I don't know. It was like they had to come up with a color scheme because they ran out of colors to go with NWA or NWO or whatever. Like, it was cool because you had the slapjack. Because I was really enjoying the slapjack as a gimmick. Yeah. I really love that. But what was your thoughts on that? They said, like, there's like, all right, listen, dude, here's the tail end of this NWO thing. We want you to be the leader. I only know who you were the leader of somebody, and I don't know who the fuck it was. To be honest with you, I can't remember who was in that side of that group. You remember anything about that?
Yeah, I remember everything about it, man. I'm gonna be honest with you, man. I thought it was refreshing. I thought it was refreshing to me because we got a chance to do some things outside of what I had been doing, characterized.
Yeah.
So it was refreshing, man, because to me, I didn't really care how the fans looked at it. It was a watered down version, and they had ran the NWO into the ground at that time.
Yeah.
Whatever.
Yeah.
But, me, Virgil, Scott Norton, Brian Adams, Horace Hogan.
Brian Adams.
There you go. That's right. That's right.
We all had so much fun with it, man. We had so much fun with it, and hey, man, it gave us all a chance to do something different. And me, Brian, and Scott Norton, we all rode together on the roads. Because me and Brian Adams were very tight, man. I miss him every day, man.
Yeah,
that was my boy, man. And we rode up and down these highways for, and having so much fun with each other, man. And it was just refreshing, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And even Bam Bam Bigelow rode with me a lot back in those days, you know what I'm saying? Bam Bam, I miss him every day too, man. I swear to God, just bringing them up right now. It's just bringing them up because some of those guys I was really close with, you know?
Yes.
And Horace, man, we were all just cool, man. We made the best of it. And hell, my check didn't change, so I was good with it, bro.
God.
My check didn't. It ain't like they said, well, you're not going to be in the top tag anymore. You're going to drop your money down to, just a figment of it because you're in this watered down version of the NWO. Okay, whatever. So that didn't happen, It probably would have happened if Mr. Amish was in charge,
Oh, shit.
He probably would have put me on a developmental contract,
Oh, God.
that you could snatch out from the guy. Just like a bug.
Oh, my God.
For me, I appreciate this interview. You don't understand. This is just fantastic for us. We thank you. We thank you for your time.
We do. We really do.
Nope.
We really do.
We really do.
What happened to him? We lost him. He got off. We lost him. That's not me. I didn't do that. We lost him. Because I wanted to say something too, but
I'm now no longer Mad Mark Lindsay. I'm now Amish Mark Lindsay.
You're Amish Mark Lindsay.
Well, see if he tries to come back on. His phone might have went dead because I had to plug mine in.
Did you? Yeah. That's what I'm thinking.
Yeah.
Yo, check the green room. Maybe he got bumped to the green room.
I do not have a drop down yet, so it'll give me. I didn't notice until before we had a thing, but what a great interview, guys.
That was a fantastic interview.
What a great interview, guys, and I'm glad you guys out there got to enjoy it with us. WWE Hall of Famer, 10-time World Tag Team Champion, all-around great guy. Okay,
fantastic.
Booker.
Make sure you text him, Dan, and you thank him.
I know I will. I definitely will. We've been very blessed on this show to get the people that we've got on there, and I want to thank everybody out there who's watching and supporting the show. Continue to share it. Continue to subscribe if you haven't already done so. Subscribe to the channel. We always try and put something out here, and if there's anything else you guys want to see, leave comments below. Like the videos. That all helps with the search engine optimization, that type of thing. And make sure. Subscribe. That's what we want to do. Coming up on September 29th, it's take 2, but we're going to have our good man, Scott Hudson, WCW, WWE, TNA announcer, commentator extraordinaire, coming back on the show because the first time we had technical difficulties and we couldn't get the show out. So he's coming back on to redo it. He is the season finale of season 4. He's a great guest. You guys are going to love it. And he had a lot of nice things to say about Stevie Ray. So, and that's what I wanted to tell him.
From us, Stevie Ray, thank you if you're watching the end, bro.
Yeah,
absolutely. Thank you for everything you've ever done in the business. Thank you for being a role model for us Black wrestlers as well as other wrestlers, because it means a lot that we had you, Book, Ron Simmons, Butch Reed, to show us the way and how to carry ourselves in the ring.
And I appreciate you calling out Amish Mark also, Stevie Ray.
Yeah, and he would put you in the developmental. Mark would have nothing to do with you, and he would put you right in the developmental. He would.
I can't believe you said that.
That was great.
Wrap it up, Daddy.
we're wrapping it up. Hey, guys, once again, hit that subscribe button down below. Make sure you're sharing the video. Make sure you're liking it. Hit the notification bell. And remember, subscribe. For Mad Mark Lindsay, the Amish Warrior, for Charles Gemini Gregory, and the Grand Onslaught Jackson, my name is Danny J. Until next time, we will see you at the matches. Goodbye, everybody.
The proceeding was produced by DJB Productions. Go to www.thatwaycoolwrestlingshow.com.